All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express are ready to take on the world.
Let me tell you something, we are going to take on the world. We already have taken over the world. We're the World Tag Team Champions, the hottest commodity in wrestling. The time in that Philadelphia Civic Center when Beautiful Bobby came off that top rope, landed on Arn Anderson's head. It changed in that brief moment the entire face of professional wrestling. We beat the odds, we beat the system, we beat the unbeatable team. Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, what you beat was a hasty retreat, brother. And in that same instant, Beautiful Bobby and Sweet Sam became recognized. We got the proof, brother. It ain't bragging, it's fact. We're the #1 tag team in professional wrestling. You want to talk about diversity club, brother? Rick Steiner won a letter in football, had to have somebody read it to him. You want to talk about Mike Rotundo? He loved school. High school was the happiest 9 years of Mike Rotundo's life. But let me tell you something, Varsity Club, and that little troll, Kevin Sullivan, don't come after us, brother, because we'll put you in the ground like a stake and make you 2 feet tall instead of the 4 feet 6 you are right now, Sullivan. Let me tell you something else while we're at it. Dusty Rhodes and any of his super partners, you're more than welcome to try. I already talked about the Fantastics. I already talked about the Road Warriors. I already talked about those sheep-shearing sheep herders. I'll give you something to shear, brother. The Midnight Express. If you can clip their wings, you're doing something, because we're the hottest thing going today, like it's been so often said. And J.J. Dillon, the 1988 poster boy for Alzheimer's disease, I heard you say that you're going to redeem yourself at my expense. Well, brother, the only thing J.J. Dillon is going to redeem is going to be some of those S&H green stamps he's been saving up. Get him a lawn chair for his old age, which began in 1957. So, J.J. Dillon, you are a victim of sour grapes, brother. You're a sore loser, just like all the losers are. But when it comes to the Midnight Express, that's all we wrestle as losers, because ain't nobody beat us. This is unheard of. This has never before been done, never before even been attempted. All these championships, all these honors, and all these accolades, and whether you like the Midnight Express or not, the one thing you love the Midnight Express. Well, we love the Midnight Express too, and we don't care who else does, because we're out for ourselves, and we're out for one thing only, and that's to keep this glory. And whether you like it or not, you've now got to admit what I've been saying all along is the truth, because we got the proof. We're the #1 tag team in professional wrestling, and everybody else is playing catch-up now. It's been too long, David Crockett, since we started saying that we were the best, that everybody's been doubting us. Everybody's been saying, Cornette, you're just going off. It ain't true. Well, now, finally, no matter where you are in the world, even your little pea-brain, David Crockett, and that little weasel face of yours has to admit that we are the best of all time. We are #1. We're on top of the heap. And the only thing that's going to make it even sweeter, maybe, is when we get all these commercials and all these endorsements that are coming up. And most of all, when we go home and my mother says, Jimmy, you done a good job. And Bobby and Stan, I always knew you could do it. My mother being proud of me, that's going to be the best thing. Wow, I'm going to kiss you. I'm going to kiss you.
And welcome back to Retro Wrestling Games Presents. I'm your host, Lex G, and with me, as always, is Matt Riley. How you doing tonight, Matt?
I'm even better this time.
All right, fantastic. Take 2, guys. This is take 2. So on this episode of Retro Wrestling Games Presents, we're taking a look at WWE 2k16. Now, guys, before you guys rip my head off and claim that this game is not a retro game, keep in mind that this game has been out for about 1.5 years at this point, and the overall concept of the show is to take a look at and play and review every wrestling game ever. So in keeping with that mindset, we have to take a look at some modern games. So WWE 2k16 was developed by Ukes and Visual Concepts, published by 2K Sports for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. It's the 17th game in the WWE game series, the 3rd under the 2K banner. Now, the interesting thing about these modern games, and we haven't had the issue yet, but I can see it as a potential issue down the road. Now, if a person wants to play some of these games maybe 10 years from now, especially the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3 games, they might have a hard time. Now, all modern games now have day one updates, they have DLC, and they have updates throughout the lifespan of the game. Now, for whatever reason, if these servers get taken down because no one's really playing the games all that much anymore, you're going to have a hard time getting these updates or getting some of the DLC, and you might end up with a very vanilla, possibly glitchy, or in some cases, broken game. So I guess we better get these reviews out of the way now while we still can. And another thing is that there's a good possibility. Now, some of the modern games, especially a lot of the hits, you can see HD re-releases down the road. You could be able to stream them on PlayStation Plus. You can download them, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But in terms of, hey, I got this disc in my hand, I want to pop it in my Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, it may not work for you. And you might have a hard time. They might turn into coasters. So we may have a hard time down the road, but we'll see how it goes. And maybe it's not an issue because no one wants to play WWE 12. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But we'll see how it goes, and we'll keep that in mind. So I think I better get into these Xbox 360 and PS3 games while I still can. Now, the one that we're taking a look at now is the PlayStation 4 version, and we'll get into it. Now, I think the overall theme for this particular game is a game that's remarkably deep and remarkably shallow at the same time. What I mean by that, we'll get into it as we get into some of the game modes and some of the decisions made here. But first, we'll go over the roster. Again, this roster has 120 uniquely playable characters and DLC as well. And I'll quickly go over the roster now. So the roster is as follows. We have Bad News Barrett, Booker T, Colonel Mustafa, Daniel Bryan, Emma, Eva Marie, Finn Balor, General Adnan, John Cena, Kalisto, Kane, or Steven Regal, Paige, Seth Rollins, Sin Cara, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Summer Rae, Tamia, Triple H, Adam Rose, Bo Dallas, Brie Bella, Brock Lesnar, Goldust, Heath Slater, Hideo Itami, Jack Swagger, Kevin Owens, Neville, Nikki Bella, Ric Flair, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Stardust, Sting, Tyler Breeze, Ultimate Warrior, Zack Ryder, Alicia Fox, Bam Bam Bigelow, The Big Show, Cameron, Sorrow, Darren Young, Diamond Dallas Page, Dolph Ziggler, Fit Finlay, Kevin Nash, Layla, Lex Luger, The Miz, Naomi, Randy Orton, Sheamus, Titus O'Neil, Tyson Kidd, Aiden English, Andre the Giant, Batista, Chris Jericho, Curtis Axel, Dean Ambrose, Edge, Eric Rowan, Fandango, JBL, Luke Harper, Randy Savage, Natalia, Rick Rude, R-Truth, Ryback, Santino, Sergeant Slaughter, Simon Gotch, Stephanie McMahon, The Rock, Undertaker, Billy Gunn, Bret Hart, The British Bulldog, Cactus Jack, Christian, Damian Sandow, D'Lo Brown, Dude Love, Farouk Haku, The Honky Tonk Man, Jake the Snake Roberts, Jim Neidhart, Kama, Ken Shamrock, Mankind, Mr. McMahon, Rikishi, Shane McMahon, Shawn Michaels, Vader, X-Pac, Baron Corbin, Big E, Bray Wyatt, Brian Pillman, Colin Cassidy, Enzo Amore, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Kofi Kingston, Connor, Mark Henry, Mikey Ripwreck, Ricky Steamboat, Rusev, Savio Vega, Victor, Xavier Woods, and the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Fucking the Terminator.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of visuals, this is probably the best looking wrestling game up to that point. The character models are very detailed, they're very crisp. Everyone looks like who they're supposed to, obviously. Anyone that has an issue with the visuals are kind of nitpicking here a little bit. Again, no game's going to be perfect. There's always issues with the clothing physics. On occasion, I'll put someone with a championship belt, and you'll see half the championship belt underneath like their T-shirt or whatever. And that stuff has not improved in 2K17, by the way. We'll keep that in mind. But everyone looks really good. The arenas look good. The menu screens look good. Everything looks really good. No issues there. The audio, again, very clean, very crisp. Commentary is the commentary. I mean, I'm sorry, but no wrestling game, for that matter, no sports games have really great commentary. It's kind of the way of the world at this point. Again, I shut it off. I shut it all off. So there's no music, there's no commentary, because they do use licensed music on there. And when I upload these videos for the NWA project, I don't want any music on there because I don't want a copyright strike, so I just kind of just muted it all. But it sounds really good, and the visuals are fantastic. I want to get into controls, though. This is where it's most interesting. The controls are really good. They have like cool little mini games now. They have a chain wrestling mini game. I think it's been around before. They have a rest hold kind of deal because your stamina is super important in the game. And the way you regain stamina, just like in real wrestling, you put someone in a rear chin lock and you hold it for as long as you can, and that's how you regain and fill your stamina meter, which is really cool in terms of a simulation type wrestling match. It gives the matches kind of a more ebb and flow. Although it always takes 3 finishers to, just like in real wrestling now, it takes 3 finishers to beat a guy.
Nice.
But the big thing I want to bring about the controls, if you want to get really good at this game, there's 2 things you have to focus on. Reversals and submissions. If you're good at timing your reversals, you'll win every match.
Really?
It won't be that much of a challenge. But, mastering reversals for some people could be a challenge. The bigger challenge is the submission minigame. Lots of people have seemed to have issues with it, to the point where they had to change it in 2k17 and give you more than one option in terms of your submissions. Now, some people will say that the submission game is broken. And some people will just say, no, you're just fucking shitty at it. There is an issue with submissions, and I'll tell you why. When you play a computer-on-computer matchup, and you have 2 guys whose finishers are submissions, they don't fucking win with it. They don't fucking win with it. I've never seen once, and I do computer-on-computer matches for the NWA 1983 project, and no one ever wins by submission. Ever.
Really?
Yes. So there is something, it's not broken, it's just something wrong with it. The only way I was able to get a computer-on-computer match to end on submission is to make it a submission match. And they would tap out. That issue has been fixed in 2K17. So when I do computer-on-computer matches in 2K17, it works. So there's an issue with submissions, but it may not be broken, and you just have to get good at it. You basically have to take the thumbstick and go in a circle, and you got to catch the other person for a period of time, and that's how you get your submissions. But overall, the controls are really good, really tight. I have a friend of mine who has issues with the controls for 2K17, but keep in mind, he hasn't played a wrestling game since No Mercy. So if you're missing the 15-year plus of wrestling games, then you might have a hard time with the controls, because they've changed quite a bit in the last 15 years. Oh, just the bottom line there. We'll go into the game modes. The first game mode, again, and my favorite, and we'll get into why it's my favorite, or why it's an issue. 2K Showcase. Now, 2K Showcase is a showcasing, detailing the career of the cover star, the young and upcomer Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's fantastic. It's like, you want to put someone who's currently wrestling on your roster, probably on the cover there. That'll probably help you out. What are you going to do? So essentially, the 2K Showcase is, you get to play matches throughout Stone Cold Steve Austin's career. So you start basically at WCW, you go through some ECW, I think one ECW match, and then you do all his other great moments and matches throughout history, and that's lots of fun. And you get a lot of your unlockables too, and it's a cool part of the game. I really do enjoy that. It's not in 2K17. They took that out. Now they're adding it back in, but it's going to be DLC. And I wasn't happy with that, because I think they've done other showcases before that I really enjoyed. They had a really good one on the Attitude Era, and they had a really good one on the best matches throughout WrestleMania history. Minus the John Studd Andre the Giant match that they had. All that was shitty. But you get to play as all the other good ones. But on this particular one, you are Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you're going through, his feuds with The Rock, and his feuds with Savio Vega, and his feud with Mikey Whipwreck, and you're fighting Ricky Steamboat and WCW. So those are all really cool, and they have an appropriate arena. So they have Steamboat and Austin wrestled at Bash at the Beach, and there's a Bash at the Beach fucking arena. It looks fantastic. It's great.
Oh.
Next up, you have a My Career mode. Now, my career is just like any other sports games that, have career modes. Basically, you start out as a rookie, coming through NXT, and you end up as a WWE Hall of Famer at the end of the deal. And you go through the trials and tribulations of a WWE superstar's career. And you form alliances, and you become babyface or heel. And the big one is the Authority. Remember when they were big for a hot second. And then you have the options to support or defy them, and then it causes your career to be influenced in different ways. So again, it gives the game overall some really good replay value, and just overall value to these games. Because a lot of modern games now, it's all about online play.
Okay.
They'll give you a bare bones game, like no campaign modes, and a lot of these games and other shit. And there's not a lot of content other than you're going to fight someone online. 2K16 is not one of those games. It gives you lots of meat and potatoes. In addition to the, wrestle my friend, you know what I mean, online.
Right.
Or whatever, you know what I mean, which I don't do because I don't like getting made fun of by a 14-year-old Korean girl. I feel it. I like to be in my safe space, and I'm a snowflake, so.
There you go.
My feelings get easily hurt. In terms of creative suite and the community creations, you can create a diva, create a show, create an arena, which I don't know, they should just kind of meld those together to create a show and create an arena. I'll tell you why when we get into universe mode, because that's a pain in the ass. Because if you have to create a show, you have to create an arena, then create a show to use in arena exposition matches. You can't just use an arena; you have to use the whole thing. So it's silly to create an arena and a show. You can just create them both together. You create a championship, which is nice. And then obviously you can create a superstar, and I think to create a superstar on this particular, on 2K16 is really good. I'm really bad at create a superstar or create a wrestler, so I download most of mine, and I'll make my adjustments when I have to. In this particular game, it has 100 save slots, which is not enough for me because I am doing the NWA 1983 project, and I could have used 150 wrestlers for Christ's sakes, but I had 100. One of the things about community creations, you can only download 20 things a day. Which, if you're trying to do universe build, like I'm universe building, it makes it very difficult because not only am I downloading creative wrestlers, I'm downloading arenas and championships and everything. And it can take some time. It took me almost 3 weeks to get all the tools necessary to create the NWA 1983. So that was kind of annoying. There are ways to get around it, and if you're so inclined, you can look those up on the Google machine. So where there's issues in the game is the universe mode. Now, universe mode would be the equivalent of season mode in any other sports game.
Okay.
But you can make your universe whatever you want it to be. So if I'm doing the NWA, I have my Jim Crockett Promotion show, I have my World Class show, I have my Memphis show, I have whatever shows I want, and we had a show every day. The issue there is that when you create a show, one of the options is to where is your show emanating from. So if I'm doing World Class, it's from Dallas. If I'm doing CWA Memphis, it's from Memphis, obviously. If I'm doing Jim Crockett Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, it's from North Carolina, Raleigh, or Charlotte, or what have you. The problem is, when you go through the days, it pushes the city from one show into another. So, for example, if I have Mid-Atlantic on Monday, it's from Los Angeles. If I have World Class on Tuesday, it's from Charlotte.
Okay.
If I have Memphis on Wednesday, it's from Dallas. So that shit is fucked and they never fixed it.
Oh, wow.
But again, you can do lots of cool stuff. You can do run-ins, and you can create storylines. You choose your baby faces and heels, and who's feuding with who, and they're going to meet up at the next big pay-per-view. So, the game is glitchy. All 2K games are glitchy. We know this. We are aware of this. We know this. It's kind of part of the deal at this point. They're just glitchy as fuck, and there's no way to get around it. And that's always going to be the negative for 2K games, is that they're glitchy as hell. Now, in terms of DLC, you're able to get a Legends pack, which usually costs around $9.99. Some of them are $4.99. I think I paid $9.99 for these. But you got extra characters like the Big Boss Man, Dusty Rhodes, Lita, Mr. Perfect, Roddy Piper, Trish Stratus. There's also a Future Stars pack that had Samoa Joe, Blake and Murphy, and Los Matadores. Wonderful. The overall reception for this game, Game Informer gave it a 6 out of 10. Game Revolution gave it a 4 out of 5. GameSpot gave it a 4 out of 10. Game Radar gave it 4 stars out of 5. IGN, which is weird, it seems kind of high, 8 out of 10, almost 9 out of 10, 8.8 out of 10. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't think it's that high.
Yeah.
I think overall, it's a quality game, and I think, and it might be too early to say this, I think I like this game better than 2K17. Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Hot take.
But we'll see. When we do 2K17 next year, I'll tell you if that's still the case or not. I just think their menu's a little bit better. The creative wrestlers that the community created look a lot better. A lot of them look sick. They look like they're fucking meth heads. It's weird, but that's a whole other story. But it's funny because in 2K16, everyone looks really great, for the exception of Lillian Garcia and Jerry Lawler on commentary. They look they look shitty. But everyone else looks really great. So Matt, I know you saw a clip of one of our shows. What do you think?
Well, again, I think the imaging making it look really identifiable is a big thing for players. I like the fact they're bringing some really obscure wrestlers because I know way back when, like we played Tecmo Bowl years ago.
Yeah.
We'd do a season for money, and you had to pick like one of the 4 shittiest teams.
Yeah. Like
the better you were at, the worse your team was. So in similar fashion, if you did an online career mode, I had a friend of mine tell me like, oh, I did career mode with this guy, and like it was like Bo Dallas, something like, Bo Dallas.
I had Heath Slater with all the belts.
Heath Slater puts asses in seats.
He does. His kids' asses.
Oh. Yeah,
Now, to get back to my point when I said this game is super deep and super shallow at the same time, I'll give you an example. When I was making the NWA 1983 project, and you guys have not seen the NWA project, again, it's on my channel, check it out. Lots of fun. Shenanigans and tomfoolery all around.
Yes.
But when I say it's deep and it's shallow, you can make an arena, and I can make it look like the Dallas Sportatorium, and I can import logos, and I can do everything that I can to make it era-specific, year-specific even.
Yeah.
I can throw ads on the billboards that say Return of the Jedi and Colt 45 and all that shit, right?
That's cool.
That makes the game super deep. What's shallow about it is that I have a 2016 WWE referee in the ring, and I can't change it.
No.
It kind of takes you out of it a little bit, right? The camera pans over the commentary. I'm in the Mid-South Coliseum, and the main event is Bill Dundee and Jerry the King Lawler, and I have Jerry the King Lawler on commentary with JBL and Michael Cole.
Hardest working man in business.
Yeah, clearly. He wears those weird Affliction shirts, and I don't know why he does that, because no one's wore Affliction t-shirts for fucking 10 years at this point.
Jerry. Yeah, Jerry.
I know, right? So that really kind of, not having the option to, at the very least, delete ringside commentators.
Right.
You're not going to be able to change them, but say delete them. Having Lillian Garcia as the ring announcer in 1983 for Dusty Rhodes versus Harley Race for the NWA title takes you out of it. But not being able to change those things makes it shallow, because that's basics, right? Now in 2K17, you can change the fucking referee and make it a throwback referee or a Japanese referee even. But in 2K6, again, they address some of these issues, which is nice to see. Again, with the game being glitchy, for example, I will download a particular character, and I just recently did this. I downloaded the Road Warriors.
Oh,
Now,
no.
the Road Warriors look like they were from 1991, so I had to make some changes to make it look like they were from 1983, which is the year they debuted. So in 1983, they're wearing leather chaps, dog collars, and they have leather vests when they come out to the ring. Right? And they're wearing Undertaker gloves, like fucking long fucking gloves.
All right.
So I downloaded them. I changed them. Well, I changed one. I changed Hawk. And then you go to save it, and it fucking crashes my PlayStation 4.
Whoops.
Fuck, what the hell? So I go back and I do Animal. Same fucking thing, it crashes my PlayStation 4. So I'm not able to save these guys, so I delete those guys and download two different I go back and download different Road Warriors. The same thing happened to me with Eddie Gilbert. You know, I downloaded Eddie Gilbert and I wanted to use him in the NWA project. I went back on Google and see, okay, this is what he looked like. I had to change his gear because he has hot stuff gear. You know, we're still 4 years away from that, so I have to change it, right?
Yeah.
Which is I had to change quite a bit of guys to make it look like 1983 because it's different, you know. And the same thing happened. I fucking went to save it, fucking crashed my fucking PS4. So I was not able to use Eddie Gilbert in the NWA project at all. Now I may go back and re-download him at this point, but for my initial slot of guys, I wasn't able to do it. So we talk about glitchy. That's, you know, being glitchy. The match types are all, you know, standard fare. You have your cage match, you have your tag team matches, you have your last man standing matches, you have your no holds barred matches, and you have your hardcore matches. What the fuck's the difference between a no holds barred match and a fucking hardcore match?
No one knows.
And there's a Fall Count Anywhere match. That's where we get fucked. It's like there's slight differences. Extreme Rules, I believe you're able to, it's Falls Count Anywhere with weapons. But can you get disqualified in a Fall Count Anywhere match? I don't know. And if there's no holds barred, I can hit someone with a baseball bat. That's fine. So that's where it gets kind of fucking like weird. It's like you can just say Extreme Rules and cover the full gamut of that. That's fine. Obviously, they have your Hell in the Cell, Elimination Chamber. They have your Royal Rumble because you only have 6 guys on screen at the same time, I believe. Maybe 8, but I've only seen 6. I didn't do Royal Rumble yet. But again, I think overall, the game is really good. A lot of people don't like this game. I understand why. A lot of people don't like modern wrestling, and I understand why. But for what I needed to do, it does it very well. And for what I needed to do, it does it better than 2K17 at this point. You know, I've started doing some shows with 2K17. I'm having a hard time with it. Similar issue, I went to download the Ring of Honor Arena and fucking crashed my PS4. And I'm like, fucking hey, dude.
Sounds like a good device you got there.
Oh, it's not the PS4, it's the game. PS4 is fun. I wonder if that's happening on the Xbox One or not, but probably is. You gotta understand something about fucking 2K games. I think I was playing NBA 2K something the other fuck, and I fucking deleted my whole shit.
Okay.
Like I deleted all my saves on all my games and shit. I think that was for the 360. And all types of fucked up shit. So that's 2K for you. They're very they're known for their glitches. They're glitchy as fuck. They look great. They play great, but they're glitchy as fuck. And most of the time they're not finished on day one. So there's never a reason ever to buy these games day one. Wait at least a month, you get all the fucking updates and shit. Because the worst thing in the world, you get down, you're like, oh, I want to play this game, day one. I took a day off from work or school or whatever, and and the game fucking doesn't work really good. So, fuck those guys. So, man, any final thoughts on WWE 2k16?
I would say don't fall in love with a character you won't find in there. I want Mae Young in there. I'm just saying.
Okay. You have Mildred Burke in there.
Nice.
Yeah. They had Bruno, I think, in 14, if I remember correctly. No Bruno in this game, though. But no glaring omissions from the roster. Like anyone else that you want to put in there is just you being fucking nitpicky and wanting someone specific. So, but there's no one like, oh, I can't believe they didn't put him in the fucking game. Yeah, what are you gonna do? All right, guys. So we are officially out of time. So for Matt Riley, I'm Lex G. Have a good night. Have a good night. Good night, everybody.